So guys, many people forget that Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen, and with this, the UK has every right to interfere in the proceedings held in the Nigerian courts. What I'm about to show you in today's video, I bet most of you haven't seen it. Welcome to this YouTube channel. In case you are new to this YouTube channel, kindly hit the subscribe bell below, because in this channel, I bring you everything trending and everything you need to know regarding Nnamdi Kanu. So recently, the Kenyan High Court vindicated Nnamdi Kanu, and recently, the UK also demanded the federal government to give them proof and evidence on the order they got and who gave them the permission to extradite Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, because the UK are now getting interested in the case regarding Nnamdi Kanu. Being a British citizen, the UK has every right to interfere and to petition the international court to release Nnamdi Kanu, and Bola and Tinubu forget that these evidences are online. Recently, these evidences have been published again, categorically stating that Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. Nnamdi Kanu and his lawyers have said several times that they have no case to answer in court. And the appeal court, if you have not forgotten, the appeal court vindicated him and said that no court in Nigeria has the right to try him in any court in this particular country. But still yet, he's being tried illegally in the Federal High Court. Well, without wasting much of a time, there are 4 evidences that have been published online, and I'm going to read these evidences out for you to show you that Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. 1. Kenyan court ruling on illegal abduction. In 2023, a Kenyan High Court ruled that Kanu was illegally abducted and extradited to Nigeria without due process. This violates international law and undermines the legitimacy of his rearrests. His lawyers argued that because the extradition was unlawful, his prosecution is invalid under Nigerian and international law. Now, with this particular point, the UK can take advantage of this and file a petition to the international court, because Nnamdi Kanu's human rights was abused. He wasn't rendited to Nigeria in a legal way. He was illegally rendited back to Nigeria secretly, and he was tortured. Let Bola Tinubu not cause problems that he cannot solve, because Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen, and if the UK acts, they are going to respond in a very strong manner. Let's not also forget that recently the UK sent observers to come and know what is happening in court before Justice Omotosho adjourned the case to 18th of this particular month. Bola Tinubu should not bite more than he can chew. He should release Nnamdi Kanu. Let's continue. 2. Violation of Nigerian Extradition Act and international treaties. Kanu was not extradited through proper legal channels like the Extradition Act of Nigeria or mutual legal assistance treaties. This is the UK clearly stating that he was illegally rendited back to Nigeria. Bola Tinubu should not bite more than he can chew. I continue saying it. Let's continue. This is used as a basis to argue that Nigeria violated his fundamental rights and should return him to Kenya, where he was abducted. Don't also forget that when Nnamdi Kanu entered Kenya, he entered Kenya as a British citizen. But when he was extradited back to Nigeria, those who went to extradite him extradited him as a Nigerian citizen. Meanwhile, he registered as a British citizen. The UK has every right to take action in the Nigerian courts. 3. UN Human Rights Opinion. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, UNWGAD, ruled in July 2022 that Nnamdi Kanu's detention is arbitrary and he should be released unconditionally. This was when the United Nations Working Group called for Nnamdi Kanu's release in 2022, telling the Nigerian judiciary that Nnamdi Kanu should be released because he's innocent. But still yet, Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. Let's continue. These international findings support his legal team's argument that his continued detention is unlawful. Bola Tinubu and Justice Omotosho should note that these things are published online and the UK are set to take strong actions because Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen. And the most important thing to note in this particular thing is that when Kanu was being arrested, he was arrested as a British citizen. 4. Court of Appeal judgment in 2022. All of us are familiar with this particular number 4. Let's read it out. The Court of Appeal in Abuja ruled in October 2022 that the Nigerian government violated the law in how it brought Kanu back from Kenya, and therefore all charges should be dropped. In 2022, the appeal court said that all charges leveled against him by Malamias at that time should be dropped. But what is happening now in the Nigerian courts? I find it very difficult to understand how the appeal courts can strike out all charges leveled against Nnamdi Kanu, and still yet he's being tried in the Federal High Court. And not only that, they are even bringing false witnesses to come and testify wrongly against him in courts. How can you arrest a British citizen in Kenya and bring him to Nigeria to try him under the Nigerian constitution? Where has that ever been done? Bola Tinubu should do the needful and release Nnamdi Kanu because Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. That alone, arresting a British citizen and trying him in Nigerian court is an error. Let's continue. The judgment discharged Kanu of all charges at that point. However, the Supreme Court later overturned this ruling on procedural grounds not necessary based on guilt. Imagine the Supreme Court dropping the judgment of the appeal court and stating that Nnamdi Kanu should be tried. This particular issue is what is trending now because all these 4 points have been published online. And these particular 4 points are what will be used against Bola Tinubu and Justice Omotosho if the needful is not being done. Because the UK are now waiting patiently. Even if you can recall, in Nnamdi Kanu's last court sitting, UK sent some observers, the US sent some observers to go and monitor what's happening in the courts. Several times we have said that Nnamdi Kanu is innocent and he has no case to answer in the court. Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen. He has a British nationality. To avoid the interference of the UK, Bola Tinubu and Justice Omotosho should do the needful and come together and release Nnamdi Kanu. Because if the UK petitions the international court to these particular 4 points, they'll have no option than to release him. And they'll release him with some stiff consequences. Because the international court will strike out consequences that will endanger Nigeria. Well, at this point, I'm going to allow you guys to tell me what you feel about these 4 points I've listed out here for you guys. Do want to like this video. Share this video if you allow Nnamdi Kanu, because these particular 4 points are what will be used in no distant time against the Nigerian government and against Bola Tinubu. Share this video and hit the subscribe button below for more trending updates.